What's up YouTube, and today I'm going to be doing a video talking about whether you should choose 2-inch, 3-inch, or 3.5-inch drones and which one is right for you. I'll be showing you some video footage, some freestyle flights in my backyard, and that'll hopefully help you come to the conclusion about which one is right for you. Before we get started, I do have each individual reviews of each of these drones that you'll see here. And the drone on the furthest right, that is representing my Crux 35. I actually broke the frame, so I frame swapped it, but the footage you're seeing is of the Crux 35. This is just placeholder because I no longer have the Crux 35 in its proper frame, but once again, all the flight footage you see will be of the Crux 35 and the other drones. Alright, so jumping into the first category, we are going to be working from smallest to largest. So we're starting off with the 2-inch drone, and representing this category is going to be the Flywoo Baby Nano 20, which is a 2S 2-inch drone, which gives a pretty good combination of speed and agility. As you'll see throughout this flight footage, there's not going to be any crashing. It's very easy to fly, especially for a drone that's as small as this. The space is pretty large. If you have a smaller space, I would definitely recommend going with a smaller drone, obviously. You could fly a larger drone, but as you'll see, a little bit of a spoiler alert, larger drones kind of equal faster speeds but less agility. You'll be crashing more, they'll be a little less nimble. So what you'll end up being able to do with them is going to be more limited. And as you can see by a smaller drone, it offers pretty decent speeds, and it's a very easy flying experience. You don't have to worry about crashing really much at all. But as you can see by those power loops, you don't really get much speed backwards. So you don't really get that much lateral movement, that much distance. So for some more advanced freestyle tricks, the 2S 2-inch category does fall a little short. But overall, I did like this category a lot. Also, another often overlooked benefit of this size of drone is durability. Since I'm only using a 350 mAh 2S high volt battery on this drone, it was very light, very durable. And even the times I flew this inside a lot, actually, even then it was very durable, and I haven't broken anything on this drone at all. My antenna on FrSky did break, but I'm still using it here, and even though the RSSI is reading suspiciously low, it still works, and I haven't really had any fail-safe events either. So overall, I was pretty happy with this category. It's very nimble and still pretty fast and very durable, which offered a pretty good flying experience. Alright, so jumping into one size up, we have the 3-inch drone, and representing this is going to be the Darwin FPV Baby Ape. And this drone uses 1104 motors, so it's going to be a little bit faster. There is a limited up tilt on this drone. That's just a drawback of the specific drone, so you're not going to be able to see much in front of you. But overall, I think this is kind of my least favorite category of the three, because you don't really get the benefits of a larger drone that much. It is faster than the 2S 2-inch drone, because it is 3S and 3-inch. So bigger propellers are going to be making more thrust, higher cell count. Everything is just going to be making more thrust. It's kind of more speed. And it still does maintain a pretty high level of nimbleness. You're going to be able to fit these smaller gaps, and in smaller to medium spaces, this drone is going to feel pretty good. But this specific drone just lacks some thrust on the low end. So as you can see there, when you're at full throttle and you need more thrust to not hit something, you can kind of be stuck, and that led to me crashing a lot with this drone specifically. And this might not be a fault of the 3-inch category, but definitely of the specific drone. But I would kind of recommend either choosing, do you have a smaller space and you want something that's more nimble, or do you have a slightly larger space and you want something that's going to be fast. And it also kind of comes down to your personal skill level too. A smaller drone is going to be a lot easier to fly, whereas the larger you go, the more likely you are going to be to crash. But the more power and speed you have too, so those factors kind of compound. So if you're a more inexperienced pilot, or someone who doesn't feel comfortable going very fast, then I do think that you're going to like and lean towards the smaller drones. But this drone, I also haven't really broken anything. It seemed pretty durable, but I've seen other people break stuff on it. So the durability isn't really an issue. This drone weighs like 74 grams, so it is pretty light. Once again, if you want more information on any of these drones, I have reviews on each of them. But overall, this was a very nominal flying experience. Wasn't too fast, wasn't too nimble. It offered a pretty good in between. And I mean, the acrobatics were okay, but they were nothing special. This drone was a very mid-flying experience, and as you can see, I crashed again. Jumping into 3.5-inch drone, this is where things start to get a lot of fun. As you can see, it goes very fast. The acrobatics are good. As far as power looping goes, this drone by far, this is a 4S quad spinning a 3.5-inch propeller, so there's going to be a lot more thrust. But in a space like this especially, you're starting to push the limits on how big you can fly, or how big of a drone that you can fly. This uses 1404 motors at 3500 kV, so you're really pushing it. This drone is very fast. It's a lot of fun. But the downside of that is due to its light weight, it's only 98 grams, which for a 3.5-inch drone is pretty light. That weight came from the frame, and it has an all-in-one board, but mainly from the frame. So durability, I've already broken 2 of these frames. I ended up just switching to a Beta FPV frame. It's a little heavier, but it's going to be a lot more durable. But I mean, as far as the flying experience go, if you're a very experienced pilot, this is definitely going to be something that you'll enjoy. But as you can see by the video, you're constantly getting too close to everything. But if you can handle it, it's a lot of fun. But I do think eventually you're probably going to crash. So if you're in a space like this or smaller, I would definitely go with a smaller drone, like 2 or 2.5-inch. But as far as 3.5-inch goes, it's a very well-rounded drone because you can fly it in larger spaces and it still feels very fast. And you also squeeze it into smaller spaces. And obviously, you don't have to fly this fast and hard. But I was kind of testing the limits here to show you guys what can happen if you do choose to fly this fast and fly this hard. And overall, it performs very well. It's very fast. It has great acrobatics. It's still pretty nimble, but as your size goes up compared to the environment you're flying in, you're going to be more likely to crash. So that's something to keep in mind of. As far as flight time, this actually seemed to be the best. This was using a 1100 milliamp hour battery. I actually found a pretty good spot to be using an 850 milliamp hour battery. But once again, the larger battery you use, the less durability you're going to have. So that's something to keep in mind here. Once again, this is also a high volt battery too. I'll have a link in the description if you guys are curious on specific batteries that I use, as well as chargers or ready to fly kits I've purchased. All those will be linked to the description. But overall, I was very happy with the performance of this drone. It was very fun, very fast, but it also pushes your skill limit a lot. It's constantly pushing you, and every second you're always very close to everything. And overall, I think comparing these 3 drones, the smaller you go, the more nimble and slower your drone is going to be in turn because you're spinning a smaller propeller, which means less thrust. And the larger you go, the faster your drone is going to be, but because it has a larger propeller and in turn more thrust, but it's also going to be less nimble and probably less durable too due to the much higher speeds. In my experience, I also got a lot better flight time on the larger drones. I could push sometimes 7 minutes with the right battery. And overall, I think it does come down to your personal flight experience and level of skill. If you're looking for something that's going to be very easy to fly and a wide amount of environments, like your backyard or a field, the 2-inch drone will suit you pretty well. Whereas contrasting that, the 3.5-inch drone is going to be a little more difficult to fly in tighter spaces, and you're going to be crashing a lot more, and the durability just isn't there. But it is going to be a lot faster. It's going to handle more advanced acrobatics a lot better, as well as offer a much longer flight times. So as far as which one you should choose, it just comes down to your personal skill level and how comfortable you are with faster flying in smaller environments. It also could come down to your specific environment that you are in as well. As far as pricing goes, the cheapest of the bunch here was the Baby Ape Pro in the middle there, coming in at $96. The Crux 35 came in at $120. So for its performance, I think that's a great value. And the Flyloose surprisingly was the most expensive. But I think as far as the best value one here, I'd have to give it to the Crux 35 because it is a little more expensive, but you get a lot more for your money. The downside of which being that you do have it all in one board, which is kind of unfortunate. The VTX is separate, but everything else is bundled in one board, which is what contributes to it's really lightweight. Once again, I will have all the batteries and stuff I use linked in the video description. And if you've made it this far, I really appreciate it. If you could like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.